When we first moved into our new home, everything seemed perfect. It was an old Victorian house, the kind you'd see on a postcard. Charmingly airy but still inviting. My husband and I were excited to raise our 5-year-old daughter Emily in a place with so much character and history. The first few weeks were blissful. Emily loved her new room, especially the built-in bookshelf filled with dusty old books left by the previous owners. Everything was fine until one night. Emily came into our room around 3 a.m, clutching her stuffed rabbit.
Mummy!
She whispered, tugging on my sleeve.
There's a man in my walls.
At first, I thought she had had a bad dream. So I comforted her and told her there were no such things as men in the walls. I walked her back to bed and stayed with her until she fell asleep. But this didn't happen just once. Over the next few nights, Emily kept waking us up at odd hours, saying the same thing.
The man in the walls won't stop talking.
My husband and I were concerned, but we chalked it up to an overreactive imagination. We assured her that everything was okay, but her stories became more detailed and disturbing.
He's tall, with a long coat.
She said one morning over breakfast.
He whispers secrets to me, but they're not nice secrets.
The more she talked about it, the more unnerved I became. I started to notice little things around the house too. Objects would go missing, only to reappear in strange places. The floors creaked when no one was walking on them, and sometimes there was a faint tapping sound coming from inside the walls. One night, while reading in bed, I heard it. The unmistakable sound of someone shuffling inside the wall behind our bedroom. It was faint but distinct. My heart raced, but I told myself it was just the house settling. However, the noise grew louder, almost as if someone was dragging something heavy. I nudged my husband awake, and we both listened frozen. The shuffling stopped abruptly, followed by 3 loud knocks, deliberate, almost like a signal. My husband grabbed the flashlight, and we cautiously went to Emily's room. She was fast asleep, her rabbit clutched tightly in her arms. Suddenly, the tapping started again, this time louder and more frantic. It was coming from behind her bed, My husband immediately went to the basement to check the old pipes while I stayed with Emily. Wait there. As I sat there, the air grew colder, and I could swear I heard a faint whispering coming from the wall, just like Emily had described. After a few minutes, my husband returned, pale as a sheet. There's something down there, he whispered. I found a small door behind the furnace. It's locked from the outside. We didn't sleep that night. The next morning, we called a locksmith to open the door. When he finally pried it open, the stench hit us first. It was a foul, rotten smell. Inside, we found a tiny hidden room. The walls were covered in scratch marks, and there was a single tattered coat hanging on a rusty nail. But what terrified me the most was the old, yellowed newspaper clipping taped to the wall. The headline read, "Local man goes missing after suspected murder spree. Believed to be hiding in walls." We moved out that day. To this day, Emily still asks about the man in the walls. She says he's lonely and wants to be found. I shudder every time, wondering what or who was really whispering to her. My daughter keeps asking about the man in the walls. Written by Redditor Key-Hall 3777 and narrated by myself, Justin J.